Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbena la tuâkhidna in nesînâ ev ahta'nâ. Rabbena ve la tahmil aleyna isran kemâ hameltehu alellezîne min qablina. Rabbena ve la tuhammilna mâ la tâqate lenâ bih. Va'fu anna واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for coming today. We will be continuing our discussion on the 11th word. It's on page 137. Last time we started talking about, let's rewind. So briefly, the word was giving us an analogy of a palace, and when you enter the palace you see a lot of things, and then the guests of the palace were divided into two groups. The first group was a group that was curious. What is this all for? What are we doing here? The second group just assumed that everything is here for enjoyment, so they began consuming it or using it. So last time we started talking about the first group who were curious about the palace, like what's happening here. And also in the analogy, just as a reminder, there was the speech of the master that came in, and the speech of the master was just reflecting or explaining what is happening in the palace. And again, the first group was curious to hear the speech and was attentive to it, while the second group did not give it much attention. So for today, we're going to keep talking about the first group. What does that mean to be curious about the palace? What does that result into? And why did the first group care to hear about the speech that they received from the master? So let's begin. We're going to begin from the fourthly. So just quickly, basically, the first group, they saw themselves invested with the prescribed prayers, which are the index of all the varieties of worship, and numerous subtle duties within elevated stations. Indeed, they saw in detail and duties and stations which the prayers point to with their various formulas and actions. So now we're seeing the duties and the stations which the prayers point to. So the fourth station. Fourthly, in the station of weighing up with the scales of their spiritual faculties, the jewels in the treasuries of the divine names, they began the duty of praise and declaring God to be free of all fault. In the station of weighing up with the scales of their spiritual faculties, the jewels in the treasuries of the divine names, they began the duty of praise and declaring God to be free of all fault. do we have any idea what spiritual faculties here mean? What do you think the or what are your thoughts when you hear the word spiritual faculties? Okay, go ahead, Brother Ali.
I think I'm just joking now. It's a bad joke. I think our friends here don't have spiritual faculties. They don't know what it is. I think they know. I'm joking. So they are sure that they have spiritual faculties. It means they're very simple. This is our ability to analyze, to understand, to detect the meaning, what manifested in our own existence, as well as in the existence of other beings. But of course, this is not a material faculty. For example, camera also sees, and microphone also speaks and hears. When you speak, let's say, any recording machine also hears, but they cannot do any analysis. They cannot, nothing in the world can do any analysis, any kind of analysis other than animate beings. And of course, the human beings have this faculty, are given this faculty of analysis much more wider, higher capacity than any other animate beings. As far as the material beings are concerned, inanimate beings are concerned, there is no subject of, as far as the material side of it, there is no subject of making an analysis or making a choice. So forget about it. But of course, the meaning they carry, and we can communicate with this meaning, is nothing but the qualities of their creator manifested in it. So this text says the treasuries of the divine names. So these are the qualities manifested themselves in the beings, material or immaterial, or animate and inanimate beings, are the qualities of the creator of these beings. So human beings are just appropriately decorated with the qualities, equipped with the qualities that we can communicate with them. It is not very difficult to understand. We can easily, for example, understand this. I am speaking, you understand. When you read the book, you understand which kind of message, the meaning, it transfers to you. But this meaning has nothing to the material side of the book, but author's qualities or knowledge, particularly in the book. Or if it is an art book, author's quality of artistry manifested in this book. You see how the artistry is really referring to the quality of its artist, and you appreciate it, you communicate with it. For example, if you like, for example, if it is for sale, you can apply to buy it and write to the artist saying that I'm interested in this art, piece of art, and can I buy, or I don't know, can I borrow, communicate with it. This side of human being is what we call spiritual faculty. That is what I understood. I mean, we can easily say that the elements of our human spirit, what makes us a human being, is these elements. Otherwise, we would be reduced to an animate being, as those people who don't really see the meaning in creation, they say human beings are nothing but the highest evolved animal. Okay, the highest evolved animal is maybe evolved is the question, but yeah, human life is much more sophisticated or a living being than other animal. But at the same time, for example, human brain has been given huge capacity. But otherwise, for example, some animals can see better than human beings, can hear, can smell better than human beings. But as far as brain, material side of brain, the complexity of the brain is concerned, none of the human beings have this capacity or are given this capacity. So you can say human beings are better equipped with higher qualities of a human being, a living being. But this is animal side of us. When we die, our brain stops functioning. But how about our feelings, our ability to make analysis, come to a conclusion, and also have a reaction between other beings and us? This is unique to human beings. We can make sense of it, and we can take a stand before our Creator and appreciate his qualities and communicate with him through worshiping him. That's what the unique quality of the people who follow the prophetic teaching. It means the teacher appointed by God in this universe. But of course, we follow the prophet who brings the news from our Creator only after using our human qualities, that which allows us, these qualities allow us to acknowledge the truthfulness of the message as coming from a being who knows me perfectly. So puts me in connection with the universe, all the qualities, beautiful or ugly, whatever it is, qualities manifested in the universe, and I have been given the qualities to communicate with all of them. But I may choose not to use some of them, or maybe specialized in one or two of them. That is my choice. But capacity-wise or potentiality-wise, I am given the potentiality. And we can appreciate the message because the message goes along with what the universe says, what my feelings conclude, and what the message contains. There is an harmony, is the agreement between three of them. There should be no contradiction. If there is a contradiction, either what we are talking about is wrong, or we are restricting ourselves by saying, I don't want to accept, I don't want to confirm that there may be a creator. This may be, giving the opportunity, at least possibility, this arrangement between the universe and me and prophetic message, and what I conclude is arrangement deliberately done. Somebody says, no, accidentally. Any evidence for it? They cannot bring any evidence, which is, as they claim, that the evidence in the universe must be testable, must be repeatable, and also what was the third? Didn't come to my mind. Repeatable, testable. Okay. The possibility that it may be rejected, or how was it? The word?
Acceptable, conformable.
No, not this word.
Performable.
No, just a minute. It is a technical word. Falsifiable. It means I can bring in counter argument and falsify it if I can. But for accident, it is not testable. There is no evidence of accidents in the universe. Repeatable, you cannot really see or put in the lab and repeat the accident again and again, but you have to follow the order. And also, no one can come out with a counter argument so that it is it can be challenged. It means, what was the word I used? Just came to my mind and forget again.
Falsifiable.
Falsifiable. I cannot. So falsifiable if it was wrong. If it was right, cannot be falsified. Falsifiable. So these are the scientists or those people who don't believe in God. They say you have to bring God. And one of them was saying in one of his video, propaganda, it is just a trick, saying that we see no God in the universe. So simple-mindedness. God is the creator of the universe. Can you see the author of a book in the book? What kind of reasoning it is? So simplistic. Anyways, so we cannot test God. It is just a logical conclusion, human spiritual conclusion. Human fields understand that this universe needs to be arranged perfectly by a conscious creator. And this conscious creator is the creator of the universe, artist of the universe. You cannot find the artist, you cannot look logically. It is illogical to look for the artist in the art itself. Art is made. So artist, as far as the relationship is concerned, it's an analogy only. Artist is not made. Artist is not a piece of art. He is the artist, she or he. This simple logic is missing, and the people are cheated by this propaganda trick. I mean, this is just a really political, I don't know, economical, political trick to me. Simple, because it must be understood easily. Anyways, we have to pay attention to this balance in the universe and the relationship with the human beings and the universe and what the prophetic message says. Thank you.
Thank you. It reminded me when you spoke of meaning of our last discussion, where when we were talking about that creation is glorifying with particular tongues, and I asked, why should I care? And very simply you said it, because we're connected to everything in the universe. So I feel like when you were talking about spiritual faculties, that's sort of the base of it, to sort of understand that I am someone who is connected to everything in the universe, and that I can recognize that I do need to look for meaning, or I have a need for meaning. So when I began to ask the question of what is the meaning of a tree, or what is the meaning of the wind or snow, then I began to connect truthfully, I think, to everything else in the universe and see the jewels and the treasuries of the divine names. All right. Okay, I'll move to the fifth one. In the station of studying the sustainer's missives, I hope I'm pronouncing it correct, written with the pen of power on the plan of divine determining, they began the duty of contemplation and appreciation. Again, so willingly, they're studying the sustainer's missives, which when I looked it up, it meant messages or letters, written with the pen of power on the plan of divine determining, they began the duty of contemplation and appreciation. Sixthly, with beholding the subtle, delicate, fine beauties in the creation of things and in the art in beings, in the station of declaring God to be free of all defect, they took up the duty of love and yearning for their all-glorious Creator, their all-beauteous Maker. That is to say, after looking at the universe and works, and performing the duties in the above-mentioned stations, within transactions, in the object of worship's absence, they rose to the degree of also beholding the transactions and acts of the all-wise Maker, whereby in the form of a transaction, in the presence of the person concerned, they responded with knowledge and wonder in the face of the all-glorious creators, making himself known to conscious beings through the miracles of his art, and declared, "Glory be unto you. How can we truly know you? What makes you known are the miracles of the works of your art." Before I move on, does anybody want to comment on this paragraph? Then they responded with, oh, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I was gonna ask, after the Dr. Ali explained about the guy, which is mentioning also in sixthly, and it says over there that, just a moment. Yeah, they rose to the degree of also beholding the transaction, and what does it mean, like in the presence of the person concerned? Thank you.
Okay, so your question is about this, the part I highlighted, correct?
Yes, right, because it was before, it was saying like we are worshiping like in the absence, but now how it's transformed to in the presence of the person.
Thank you for asking. I had the same question. This whole sentence where it talks about the worship's absence and then in the form of a transaction in the presence of the person concerned, it was a bit unclear to me too. So thank you for asking that. Did anybody understand or has an idea of what this could be meaning? Brother Ali, do you have an idea of what this means? Okay, we can, go ahead.
I mean, there are more qualified people here. Why don't you point them out?
Just give me a name. I'll be happy to call on it.
Give me a name. Okay. Agabe, Asim, Arona, Kamer, Aisha. Ask them.
Okay. We can reread the paragraph slowly and try to figure out together.
Do you think we can first we can talk about very briefly, it is almost clear to everyone, but about the fifthly, which says written with the pen of power. And this is the sustainer's missive. Now, what is written with the pen of power? What is that?
Excuse me, the voice is low to me. I don't know it's to you also, guys.
Fine here.
Agabe, I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah, your voice is little coming low.
No, still I cannot follow you. I don't know if anybody else follows.
He's saying that he can't really hear you. Your voice is too low.
Oh, how about now?
And now for me, both of them are fine.
I see. There is there may be a problem. If everybody is okay with my voice, hearing my voice, then Agabe.
Yeah, now is okay. Now is okay. Good time.
Okay. Now, what is the pen of power, do you think? So this is the sustainer's missive.
Well, for me, I think I understood it that if someone has the ability to create, we'll use the analogy, if someone has that ability to make the palace and be able to add order to it and make it in a way that a lot of guests can benefit from it, then it would make sense that the owner of this palace, when the owner makes a decision or makes a choice, it's immediately done, or it's easily done, perhaps. Yeah, like it's a very easy choice for the maker or for the designer of that palace.
Yeah.
Farah also has a hand up.
Pen of power means not pen of that we write with our hand, but the creator of the universe writes the creator. It means brings the creator into existence through his absolute power. That is the pen of power, because the author consciously chooses this word pen, because in the Quran, the qalam, the original word is qalam, noon, wal qalam wa ma yasturun, or allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam, allamahu bil qalam. So this qalam does not necessarily mean that writing things for human beings. For example, I am using the keyboard without using any pen. With qalam literally means pen or pencil. So with the pen, I am learning. So somebody may learn through hearing. Of course, this is an allegoric teaching that qalam in the Quran, the pen in the Quran, for example, in the chapter Noon, I think, well, qalami wama yasturun, what the qalam and what this column has put into lines, like writing a book. The creator is writing the universe with full of meaning and creating the universe. This conveys the message. That is why this analogy is borrowed by the author consciously. He always does this in order to introduce us let me get this one down. So as if I am the only one who raises his hand. So somebody else may raise. So he introduced the Quranic vocabulary and prepares our minds how to understand the Quran. When God says, God taught human beings with qalam, the author says this means qalam, God's qalam is divine determining. It means deciding what should be created. And here it is. Human beings are every day or every hour reading a line written by the pen of power. It means power is manifesting itself, demonstrating, revealing itself. This understanding helps us to understand the question our friend asked. So the question is, who is in the face of, I don't know, in absence, where was it? In the presence of the person concerned. Now, what you understand, if you like, you can read the sixthly again, and we will follow. But get our minds ready now. What are we expecting from the sixthly? The fifthly, at this fifth stage, the author introduced us that the universe is nothing but the demonstration of the power of the creator, but revealing all his qualities to conscious beings, as it is written somewhere in the sixth word. Conscious beings through the miracles of his art. Can you highlight, please, that one? Yeah, conscious beings, one line up, just one line up. Yeah, exactly. So all glories creators making himself known to conscious beings through the miracles of his art. So conscious human beings stand before the universe, and we can go up and see sees the manifestations of the divine determining, deciding what to create consciously, so that the conscious human beings can communicate with it. I think we discussed about it while we are studying the fourthly. So what happens now in the sixthly, the conscious human beings observes the universe if they don't block their mind, if they are not biased. They look at the universe, use their human capacities, after looking at the universe, and works and performing the duties in the above mentioned state through transactions in the object of worship's absence. In the object of worship's absence, maybe worshipper, worship's absence, it means, although, let me make it much easier as I understand. I understand simple examples. When you read a beautiful poem, for example, what you do as you read the beautiful poem, you say, you get excited as if you are communicating with the poet and saying, oh, what a wonderful lines these are. that he has written, or looking at a piece of art and you see that, oh, the artist is really very careful here, or demonstrating his ability of art in such and such style, whatever, doesn't matter, as if the artist or the poet is in front of you, your admiration, in fact, directly goes to appreciate the artist in absence. Artist is not there, or the poet is not there, but it takes place in absence. Absence means not physically communicating with you as if you and I are communicating, but my appreciation, my admiration declares my thankfulness, my feelings, and I have a communication with the artist of the universe, and I say, glory be unto you. It means I glorify you, just at the bottom of the sixthly. How can we truly know you? Because the admiration is so high, because the manifestation is immeasurably high. The manifestation, immeasurably high quality. So we say, yes, you have power, but I cannot put a limit to your power. I cannot weigh your power, because there is no measurement. It is beyond measurement. We call it in our discussions absolute. It means, glory be to you. How can we truly know you? It means you are so absolute. I cannot really describe you with a limited, within a limited understanding or limited observation. I understand that you must be an absolute one, so I can only say that you are absolute. That's it. The creator is beyond my capacity. That is the declaration of human admiration before the manifestations of a creator himself, through creation, through the universe. That's what I understood from the sixthly.
Thank you. Farah, I also saw your hand up. If you'd like to comment either on the fifthly or sixthly.
Yes, at the time I was wanted to just comment on the phrase pen of power, but I mean, it was explained, but just to add to a discussion, taking just also the metaphor of the pen and of power, one could understand this as any creative act, any act that brings something into being or into existence. Let's say when we also, for example, practice any sort of act such as writing, we sit with a pen, with a paper, and start moving our hands such that something that did not exist on the paper before us comes to be in the form of letters and words. So we have this sort of notion of, in our experience, of things coming into being. But in this case, the example becomes quite different, where anything that comes into existence on a creational level, the writer of that, let's say, tree or that object or atom or whatnot, also has to have simultaneously the power and the knowledge and the will to bring everything else into existence too, such that we've discussed this example before, that for an apple to come into existence, the creator of that apple must also be able to bring the entire universe into existence, because whatever the apple requires or whatever it manifests is inextricably linked to its all the things that sort of it interacts with in order for it to be what it is. And so this pen of power, and that's, I guess, the second part of the phrase of power really forces us to think about anything coming into being also being part of the order in which it comes into being. And the reason why it started to think about it a little bit further is that it's the fifth stage rather than the first or the second or the third. And why is it that is it at this fifth, which I believe there's nothing after sixth, is that for someone or for us to imagine something to coming into existence, to see that as part of a plan or as a larger story or a larger sequence of things, and to see that, okay, whoever brings this into existence must also be able to bring something else into existence, has been, and then trusting this sort of process as we go through our life and understand how things come to be, attributing every single event, thought, object, idea to that single source, is coming at a stage when we have sort of understood this in the four stages, prior to it. So seeing things part of a plan and an order and coming out of, absolute will and knowledge is, and accepting or working within that framework is coming at a stage, following the points that we discussed before, that called for basically a very conscious awareness and confirmation of our experience.
Thank you for that. I really like the expression creative hour. Thanks for that. I hope it's more clear now. If not, please ask more questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, now, like I understand now, like after going through those steps that are mentioned in the text, and which is reminded us by the prescribed prayer, as text says, we will come to a very strong conclusion, like as if we are in front of the Absolute One, and physically we cannot be with the Absolute One anyway. That's why it says like as if we are in the presence of Him. So it also reminded me that when an artist comes, even if the artist comes and says to us that I'm an artist, without seeing his art, how can we know he's artist? That was another thing came to my mind. Thank you.
Yeah, the only way to know who is the artist of this art of the universe, for us to see his art manifested here. Otherwise, to see his personality doesn't help me understand, even it was possible, which is absolute being is impossible, but even it was possible, seeing the personality or essence of the creator of the universe himself. That's what the materialist people don't understand or don't want to understand. They understand, they are much, zillion times more clever than I am, but they don't want, and not only some of them, materials of them. I mean, so this bias of them, they don't want to understand it. Even you see the creator somewhere in the universe that say above all the galaxies, okay. What can you do? Nothing. You cannot know that he is the creator. You just something there out there. But there is only way, there is only one way to conclude is logical conclusion. That's what they don't understand. Belief is a logical conclusion. It means they have their equations. Let me go into detail a little bit here. I don't know whether we have sometimes. Now, what they talk about this God equation. Now, they forgot about the God particle because they understood that there is no such particle at all. Everything is just something like bubbles, air movements or something like that. There are different theories about it. They forget about it. Now they are coming up with a new concept, keeping the people busy. The God equation. Now, okay, what is that? The equation requires that it is incredible. Mathematical equation is what? Human logical conclusion. Correct. I mean, if the equation requires that the universe, this material universe that we observe here is nothing but the 3% of the existing universe mathematically, or as far as the equations are concerned, logical concerns, necessitates that more than 70-something% of the universe must consist of dark energy. Otherwise, we cannot explain the existence of these stars, trillions of stars or galaxies. Okay, that is logical conclusion. But do you have any clue on their essence about it? No. You see that how ridiculous it is? They believe logically necessitated there something must exist in order to explain the existence of this observable universe, starry universe, if you like. So this is something that we cannot observe and experience, test and repeat in our testing in the labs, because there is no clue of their existence apart from logical conclusion. There is no clue of their existence, means materially they observed something, as if we are observing the stones and mountains and air and light, something like that. So they are believing in ghaib, as the Quran says, ghaib. But there must be 20-something%, almost 30% of the universe must consist of dark matter. Okay, that is a logical conclusion? Yes. Mathematical equations require it? Yes. Okay, my logical conclusion also requires that this universe must have again, logical conclusion, must have an absolute creator with full knowledge. Now they say, show me. I say, okay, you show me dark energy, you show me dark matter. Come on, show me. And a few of the things that have not been solved yet, what they say, I mean, very small amount. Only 3% consists of these trillions of starry galaxies. Okay, if it is a logical conclusion, I understand why do you tell me that when I present my human logical conclusion through the support of my feelings that the universe must have a creator. No, show it to me. And did I ask you to show the dark matter to me? Why? Because it's logical conclusion in order to explain the existence of the universe. This is my logical conclusion in order to existence of the universe, the starry universe, the dark matter, dark energy, or whatever you call them, Higgs bosons or something they call it. Okay. Did I tell you? They say, no, mathematical equations require it, they say. Okay, I say, my mathematical equations require that everything, whatever exists in the universe, dark matter, dark energy, whatever it is, or the black hole, whatever it is, must have a creator, deliberate creator. Everything is perfectly arranged within an order. If there was no order, you would have no mathematical equation at all. That is so simple. But unfortunately, show me God. When you say, show me dark energy, they say, no, it is, equation requires it. We have no dark energy elements in our hand. But what they do, like the rabbit, a carrot is tied up on his back with a stick, and the rabbit runs after it. The carrot, and it runs. Of course, the carrot moves with the rabbit. The rabbit can never come and get the carrot. Like this, they keep saying that, oh, we will discover, we will discover, we will discover. What's happening in the scientific discoveries, everything they discover makes the universe's existence more wonderful. And they say, we will explain it, everything within the universe. But they come up with dark energy. Yet there must be, but we cannot experience it. And keep the people in suspension. Wait, we will get the signs of dark energy. We will detect it. There is no way. Dark energy is the necessity of the opposite of this material world that we are experiencing, not of the same nature. You cannot get out of this experiential universe so that you will get some elements from it. This is how we can see the contradiction of these biased-minded people. It is so ridiculous to see that, what is the word for it? The irony is, they say the human beings who accept that there must be a creator, this is our logical conclusion, they say these people are talking about myths, mythology. When I say you are talking about the mythology, when you talk about dark energy, which I don't say because it is human logic, logic requires it. So I respect the requisition of logic. But they don't accept that as an extra, another, not rejecting what they are saying, their equations are saying, but they are genius people. But this same equation makes me accept and submit that there must be a conscious creator giving existence to the universe, because none of the elements of the existing universe have no quality to give existence to anything else, let alone themselves. Now, no sign of it. That is so obvious. Then I say, always I say, oh, I'm very happy with these people, although they say themselves are atheistic, but I say, I'm very happy with them. I'm thankful to them. You know why? First of all, I repeat this, I told you before, they bring the evidence to strengthen my conclusion that there must be a conscious, deliberate acts of creation who refers to the existence, necessary existence of the creator. The second thing, all these illogical conclusions makes me feel more comfortable in my logical conclusion that the universe, with its wonderful existence, points to the necessity of its conscious creator. My belief becomes stronger. And thirdly, it is interesting. Of course, what they do all this kind of studies. As a result, these technological gadgets are produced. We are benefiting from it, and we are having discussions here through the technology they produce. For 3 reasons, I'm thankful to them. But they are not thankful to their creator. That is their responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you. I see 2 comments in the chat box. God particle, and then it says it will go more and more dark or invisible, which we can also say, which we can say also nur, maybe eventually accept the ghaib, absolute. Okay, I think, go ahead, brother, go ahead.
I have a very optimistic view of future. But unfortunately, this optimistic view of future is not coming from the Muslim world. The Muslim world is really immersed in, how do you say, usually repeating themselves in an imitative way. We believe in the Quran, and the Quran must be true. So we have to think along with the Quran. Whatever Quran says, we have to accept. This doesn't go anywhere. But I am hopeful these atheistic scientists, the atheist scientists, will declare bankruptcy soon as philosophy did. They will say, look, we can understand how the universe is working in such a way that it makes sense to us, but we cannot talk about the source of existence of this universe, because source of existence of the universe cannot be looked for, investigated, physically being in the created world. When they declare this, the triumph will be declared for the believers in God. Maybe the believers may wake up now. Otherwise, the believers now really somehow, how do you say, immersed in their repetition of the same things. It means repeating themselves, so having the same claim. But new generation will not be satisfied with neither of them. Not this repeating the imitative belief. They won't be satisfied with it. And also they won't be satisfied with this obstinate atheistic interpretation of the universe. They are waiting for something to pop up there and say, that's it, that's what our life, our existence now makes sense for us. Inshallah. So we have to work for it, inshallah.
Thank you very much. I think we can stop here, because I think then the following paragraphs I don't want to just go through them. So let's keep them for next time, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة في أمان الله إن شاء الله. See you next Monday, Wednesday and Saturday إن شاء الله.